Hey everyone, I'm Sean.
I'm Leo.
And I'm JD.
And welcome to Review Month.
What we're going to be doing for Review Month in December is all of the Arnolds are going to be reviewing games that they love.
The games that we hate.
And the games that we're passionate about.
So join us every single day
At 4 PM
GMT time.
to see what games we loved in 2014.
Your Highness is so very kind. But my plan is to leave for the village straight away.
Fire, water, wind, earth. 4 crystals. 4 pillars of the world.
I don't suppose I have much choice. I'll join you.
Bravely Default.
Whew, that game is good.
One of the first games, well, technically I actually played this game towards the end of last year, but when it came out in the UK, but you played it this year, didn't
Yep.
you, JD?
Oh, that game is so good.
By the way,
It had me hooked. I was playing for a half term. The whole half term I was just playing that game. It's so fun.
Absolutely. Just on a little side note, when I grew up, when playing games, one of my favourite series was the Final Fantasy series, and for the longest time, I have been trying to get this man here into playing those games, because he loves RPGs.
Yeah.
You love your Tales of Series
Yeah,
games, don't you?
yeah.
But there hasn't been a decent Final Fantasy game in years which really can capture your type of attention until now. It took not Square Enix, but a different company to take the branding of Square Enix and their ideas to finally make a decent Final Fantasy game, which is what this really is. What do you think about the gameplay of Bravely Default?
Oh my god, this game. The battle style is so unique. You have a thing called defaulting and a thing called braving. If you default, you build up your battle points, which is needed to brave. Well, you can brave, default, then brave and attack one at a time, or you can build it up and you can attack 3 times in a row.
Which is, it's not actually like attacking 3 times, it's more like you're taking 3 turns at once, if you've ever played a classical RPG. Now JD has said that this is more unique. I'm going to disagree. It's actually not quite unique. It's actually very similar to old school turn-based combat RPGs. However, what is unique is the things they've put on top of it.
Yeah.
Like, as well as the brave and default system, they've brought back the job system. I love the job system. In my opinion, the best thing about Final Fantasy is not the characters, it's not Cloud and the big sword, it's not lightning, it's about jobs and creativity. For you to be able to do what you want to do. But it's not just also the job system, there's also things like the ability to be able to fast forward and slow down your battle speed.
Oh my God.
It is,
and put it on auto.
it is such a godsend, because RPGs, they're known for being a bit monotonous, they're known for being a bit repetitive, and you're going to be doing the same thing over and over again quite a bit.
Grinding
Absolutely.
for hours and hours and hours.
So what this game does to alleviate that is it allows you just to speed up the battle to at least 4 times the speed. And if I ended up playing the game always on double speed just because it felt so much better, if the game didn't have that option, it would be so slow and so boring.
And it makes it really easy to grind up your levels because each job system, you're not along as well as your character being leveled up, your job is leveled up to learn new moves and get skills and all of that. So what you can do is you can set your moves, speed it up and put it on auto and just keep encountering enemies and you'll just grind up. It makes it a lot more easier than normally in an RPG where you have to run in, you have to press all the buttons to fight yourself.
And repeat
it makes me sound lazy.
No, it's a godsend. To those who know RPGs and love RPGs, you know exactly what we're talking about. Now, speaking about leveling your characters, what did you think of the characters in this game?
The characters, all of them had their own story. I'm not going to spoil it, but like a character, Adea, her father is one of the enemies in the game.
So she had to really face the challenges of being on the good side, but also having to go up against her father. And the story is not incredibly deep. This is a this is a game on the Nintendo 2DS or 3DS. So you're not gonna, not to put it down or nothing, but you can't expect something which is gonna be maybe necessarily the narrative on the lines of a PS3 or a PS4's title game. But the narrative, what is there, is just enjoyable to listen to. I really enjoyed the characters such as Ring a Bell. It was just about finding back his memory from the, which he lost, and just discovering who he was over and over again. So what about the story itself? Without going into too much detail, what do you think about the story for Bravely Default?
There is a deep story, many things that you can do, not even in the main storyline, you can do.
I agree.
And find out more about your characters.
I agree. I think one of the best things is that the game has a great design or setup to encourage you to want to go and do side quests, because it allows you to find out more about the stories, and every single one of your enemies has their own story as well as the characters.
And also the side quests, you don't have to look every time you finish a part, you don't have to look around every part to see if there's a side quest. It shows you on the map. The world's not too big, so it's easy to get to places. You can easily go from one town to another and complete that side quest.
Now, I do want to address the elephant in the room. For those who have played this game and know what it's like, the second part of the game, the second part of the game, I'm not going to spoil it for those who haven't played it before, but the second part of the game does do something which turned a lot of people off. It didn't bother me too much, because I enjoyed just playing the game so much. I didn't care really what the second part had done. But I can understand, for those who know, I can understand why you may have kind of turned off of this game because of what it does. Did it bother you much at all?
Not really. There were just so many things that outweighed that. So many things that were better in that game than the bad things.
I agree. Because it wasn't exactly, I can't really get into it too much, but let's just briefly say that the gameplay was so much fun, which is really the main highlight of this game, that it just made me want to, no matter what I was doing, I was still enjoying playing it at any time. Going from the gameplay now into the music, the soundtrack of this game.
The music is so good. The same people who made the Attack on Titan soundtrack produced the music for this game. There is some amazing music in this game.
I think the main lead of the music direction was by a man named Revo. And Revo, who I've actually never really heard of before Attack on Titan and this game. I don't know if he's done any other games, but
I thought Revo was the company.
I'm not really sure. I'll have to check that out for myself. But I believe Revo is a person, and the music in the game is fantastic.
It's all on like wind instruments, so flutes, all those sort of instruments, and it adds a really good atmosphere to the game.
Those who play past Final Fantasy games, among the legends in the game industry is Nobuo Uematsu, who is so well known for the music he has created over the last 2 decades. Now, we haven't really seen too much from Nobuo Uematsu since he left Square Enix, but Revo definitely is the first person who in a long time has taken up the job of being a music director and has really just touched my heart and really made me enjoy just listening to the soundtrack of this game. So one last thing which I want to talk about was the design, the way it looks.
The characters weren't extremely detailed, but they were distinguishable from everyone else.
Yeah, I enjoyed the way the characters look. I mean, though everything needs to look as incredibly realistic as possible, I enjoyed the kind of, I wouldn't say cutesy, but kind of cartoony style, and the way the characters were almost kind of blockish in a way, kind of reminded me of older 3D Final Fantasy games like Final Fantasy 7, and it just had
not that blocky.
It was not that bad, but it had a certain charm to it, which just made you interested to look at it. And the backgrounds for the game, when you go into the towns, they will have hand-drawn backgrounds which just look fantastic. And I almost wish this game came out on a console so I could just see it on a full screen in HD and appreciate the art for what it was. So guys, I think that's going to be really it for us today on Bravely Default. Easily one of the games I've loved this year.
Same for me.
And I highly recommend it. Go out and buy it if you have a Nintendo 2DS or 3DS. And we'll see you later.